Hey, what up, though? It's your boy Devon Lucas, aka Dev Luke the Phenom. Welcome to my Life channel, where I talk about everything, anything, that's going on with my life, just random things. I would like to talk to you about today is how I got into the trucking industry. I've been in the trucking industry for 13 years, including this year. I had no idea that I was going to be driving a big rig, a big tractor trailer. It was way beyond me, but during those years, I learned to appreciate. But anyways, it all started when I was in Orlando, Florida. At the time, my mother and my sister were down there with me. At the time, I was working two jobs. So my two jobs back to back, back to back, back to back. Um, then my mom had met this neighbor who had a son that drives trucks. So my mom had called me over there, and yeah, she called me over there because her son was just coming off the road. So we was all asking questions about the truck driving business and how much you can make. After he told me how much he made and what he was driving and how long he's been driving, I was like, shoot, that's both combined to both of the jobs I was working. So I was like, you know what? This could be exciting. Let me pursue it. So he told me that he started out in Roadmaster. So that's the first two places that we went to. We went there, checked it out. We took a couple of classes because the thing about Roadmaster was they had like a program where they were connected with connected to companies. We're connected to other trucking companies that could put you they could put you to after you graduate from them. So we went and tried that, and it was just wasn't a thing for us. It was just charging us crazy mad money, and then the way they were training, we felt like it wasn't really adequate enough for us to get our CDLs. Uh, but so we went up to this other company that was in Springfield, Missouri. Um, this place looked promising. They had trainers. They paid for your lodging. The only thing about the lodging, though, was that you had to stay with other people. You had to lodge with other people um, if they had to pay for it. There'd be times where you had to lodge with somebody, or you just had the room to yourself. So, and say, got a trainer. Um, I had a trainer, very excited, ready to go on the road because we were, at this training pad and training yard, just waiting for other trainers to come, pick us up and take us on the road with them. If you didn't get a trainer today, you get one tomorrow, or you get one on another day, or whenever. I think around like the second day, I had a trainer. Thought this guy was right for me, but he wasn't. First trainer I had, he threw me up under the bus because he had a trainee up under him before me, I guess, that put him in a bad situation. So basically, what happened was he was in a sleeper. I guess he trained the trainer enough where he can drive by himself and he can be in a sleeper. Those were, one of the steps was, after, I'm in a seat with you after a certain time and I feel like you can drive this thing by yourself, then, I'm eating a sleeper, you'll drive and so forth. But what happened was the trainee went past a sign on the mountains that said no trucks and just kept driving. So the trainer, all he heard was some rumbling in the back in the sleeper. So he got up to see what was going on. And you just saw the trainee terrified. You just saw the guy terrified. And he saw where they were. And he was just like, let me switch, stop over here, switch, so I can get us out the situation. Needs to say he had to go past this mountain. I don't know what type of mountain it was, but this is what he told me. He went past this mountain. It came to the point where the trailer was getting ready to fall off the cliff. So he had to let go of the trailer. He had to let go of the trailer that they was hauling and let it fall. And one way or another, they were upside down. And basically, it was just a whole big mess. By the time help came through, they actually charged him instead of the trainee because he was sitting in a seat for the accident and everything that happened. So needless to say, I didn't know, this trainer had like a whole lot of issues. But needless to say, he threw me up under the bus. He didn't get it. He didn't teach me how to back when it was time to take the actual test. They had me evaluated. When they have you evaluated is when you don't pass the test. So they can see and decide, hey, we're just gonna put you with another trainer and then see how that goes. That happened the most, but that didn't happen to me. After I had gotten evaluated, they sent me home. Basically sent me home. The main manager that was working there looked me dead in my eyes and told me that I didn't have it. I didn't have it to drive. I didn't have it in me to be a truck driver. That this was impossible. Where you want to go? So at that point, due to my inexperience, I believed him. I was just like, just take me home. I missed the land. I don't want to drive big trucks no more. I'm done. At that time, I committed to wanting to be a truck driver. So I moved up everything out and put everything in storage. So I didn't have anything to go back to over there. Um, so I was like, you know what? I have family in Detroit. I miss Detroit. Detroit is where I'm originally from. If some of y'all don't know. But so I went up to Detroit with my family. I stayed with my aunt. Um, and I just had to get some of that cold air and that Detroit hustle energy back in my soul because it was just a whole big mess. So I stayed with my aunt for a little bit. Got me a part-time job because I didn't want to I didn't want to feel like I was a slouch, at her crib. That's one thing I'm always going to be, always trying to figure out the way to how to get it. So it's like, this is, the start so I can get back on my feet and, start all over again. Needs to say, it just didn't work out. Try to go to my godfather to see if he had any place for me to stay until I had the means to have my own living. When he was making the calls, I was like, who else do I know that stay here? And it was my cousin. So I called her up to see if I could stay over there for a little bit. She was like, yeah, you can stay over here for a little bit. So at the time I was staying over there, I think of like about a month. She gave me that signal, that hint, like, hey, how long you trying to stay here? Which was the hint was, I stayed here a little bit too long. I get it. I understand that. So I was like, you know what? Let me try this truck driving thing again. And whatever happens, happens, man. I gotta go for it because I can't be going through this. Not no more. So I tried another company, Stevens Transport. Um, Basically, Stevens Transport was in Texas. So I called them up to see, what the programs and things that they have. And they said, yeah, we could take you. But the thing is, we're in Texas. So what we're going to do, we're going to send you to Colorado. It's like Colorado. I don't know anything about Colorado. All I know is Colorado has mountains. That's what they know for mountains. But I was just like, hey, if I got to go to Colorado to make this work, I'm going to go to Colorado. So I go to Colorado. I'm thinking it's going to be in Denver, but no, this place was like in a small town. It seemed like a ghost town, but it was a small town nonetheless. They had like a supermarket. They had like a Family Dollar. They had like what else they had? They had like in a Mexican restaurant, in a small family grocery store. So I was like, and then the phone signal was bad too over there. So your signal wasn't really working like that. I'm just thinking this is gonna be some type of horror movie. Ain't no signal. But I had like this little small government phone with, them old school government phones. So that thing had signal. So I will always use that doing the training. So I went there. Um, it was just a whole lot of group of good people over there in careers. It was the place was called Careers Wide Trucking. It was a good place to be. It was they were serious about on everything. And their thing is, look, if you want to do this, we'll help you. If you don't waste our time. If you really want this and we see that you're trying, that you're making an effort to get this and understand this, we will help you get your CDL. We will help you get that. So while I was all there, I was just soaking up everything, all the information, paying attention to what they were saying, paying attention to the back end information that they had. They had one of the trainers had like this small toy truck. They had the trailer and it was showing how the back in there. I was looking at that. I was just like, because I really wanted to make this work and I really wanted to make some good money being a truck driver. I didn't want to go back to working two jobs because it was just exhausting. So um, they saw how bad I really wanted. So one of the main trainers helped me out. He helped me how to drive the trucks. I got on the truck with another trainer, to practice driving the truck, and we drove them on the mountains. I'm just horrified because I'm like, this is might be because I'm watching too many. When you watch too many horror movies with trucks tilting over, falling over the place, falling off a cliff. It's just like, man, it's just like, oh Lord. But um, he's say it was good. The other trainer, she was patient with us. She taught us how to drive that bad boy, driving up through the mountains. We took in some scenes and took pictures as well of these glorious big mountains. And she was showing us this place around the mountains where they make their beer from. So so it was really interesting. Then we had stopped at this little small thrift store around in the mountains that was selling like little antiques and things like that. And they had like buffalo jerky. So that was cool. But needless to say, testing time came. I was a bit nervous, but I passed it. I passed it. It was like, hey, we're gonna go to the DMV so you guys can get your CDLs. And I was just happy. I was so happy because of all the things that I had went through with that other trainer. Like I'm talking about things, crazy things he would say. Oh, you're gonna get us killed, and you could have been in an accident, and oh man, you're gonna kill the whole family. 7 years for everybody, and he was just a terrible, terrible trainer. The way the people that talked about this trainer was you thought he was a master truck driver. 19 years. That's what made it worse because he drove for 19 years and I believed everything he said. But as I look back at it, I was like, yeah, bro was tripping. He had a whole lot of issues. But needs to say, I got the CDL, went down to Texas, and drove with Stevens. After that, the rest is history. So that's how got my CDL, became a truck driver. I would say about this trucker business, it's good and bad, but it does pay. It does pay. It's just another day in life for trucking. If you're thinking about getting into trucking, good. Um, Also, I would also say is take your time driving. If trainers are trying to um, rush you in driving and things like that, that's not a trainer. For trainers saying terrible things about, oh, you're not gonna be a truck driver, or I just can't get you your CDL. This ain't gonna work. That's the wrong trainer. Get you a good trainer that's gonna be patient with you. That's going to take their time and give you that information. But yeah, my life. Hope y'all enjoy this story that I said. And hey, one love.